Okay, today, Bismillah, we're going to talk about listings. We've already covered licensing, how to find profitable properties, photography, interior design, furnishings, the importance of all of that. The next step is listing. Now, this is a very important step. Where do we list? First of all, Airbnb. Secondly, booking.com. Thirdly, places like Expedia, VRBO. Then for local, Beirut, Property Finder. And then we have Make My Trip, which is strong in India. And then there's Trip, which is strong in China, trip.com. Anyway, the list is endless. But we focus today mostly talking about the two most powerful ones, which are Airbnb and booking.com. Now, why is listing so important? Listing is important because it's the differentiator between you being successful and getting good occupancy rate and not being successful and getting low occupancy rate. It's the difference between getting guests and not getting guests. Now, some people, they get a property, it's a beautiful property in a good location, they priced it well, they list it, and what? Zero guests. Why? Because all these portals have secrets. They are algorithms, they are search engines for short-term business. And every algorithm has a bias, which means it works towards certain preferences and it works against certain preferences, which enable you either to go up in the list or down in the search. So for example, Airbnb, when you do a new listing, artificially boosts the listing for 3 weeks. In those 3 weeks, it checks to see if your booking gets any attention, if it gets booked, if it gets good reviews, and if it does, it continues after the 3 weeks when the artificial boost is done to keep you at the top getting customers. Now, once you start getting a certain number of reviews and a good attention, it starts to give you, preferential treatment in the search, and you start to get things like being nominated as a guest favorite, other things like that, that then allow you to charge more and get more business. Also, Airbnb and booking.com and all these portals have things called rule sets. So what rule sets do we apply? We apply things like saying for the first 3 customers, we can apply a 20% discount to get that boost, to get those reviews. Also, we can say minimum number of days that anyone can stay is 2 days or 3 days. For Christmas and New Year's, we put rule sets that say that nobody can book less than 5 days for Christmas week and 5 days for New Year's week, because we don't want people just to book on New Year's Eve and then the rest of the days don't get booked. So we have rule sets. And also we can give rule sets where if somebody books for 2 weeks or 10 days or 1 month, we give extra discounts. So it entices them to book with us. Also, the listing, for it to stand out, the most important thing after the descriptions and the prices and the rule sets and all the things mentioned is the photos. The photos, you get 5 initial photos that you can put up. These are your headshots. These should demonstrate the best 5 features of the property. Obviously, the main picture would demonstrate the main unique selling point of that property. Is it the bedroom? Is it the living room? Is it the view? Is it the infinity pool? What is it? That's the unique selling feature of that property. That should be your headshot. Then you've got to have a lovely shot of the bedroom because that's where people are going to sleep. Then a lovely shot of the living room because that's where they're going to rest. And then, maybe one of the gym and the amenities, the kitchen, etc. So first 5 shots should really demonstrate how and why that property is the perfect property. And remember, as we said previously, it should be professional photographs, not iPhone pictures. And ideally, you should be using a professional photographer. And then most people I've noticed will have like 20, 30 pictures. That's not enough. We put at least 70, 80, 90, even 100 pictures, depending on how many bedrooms it is, on our listings, so that the person who's looking can get a real good understanding of the apartment, the amenities, the surrounding area, the building, so they can really feel like they can understand what they're buying, because they can't view it. Airbnb will not allow you to meet with the guest prior to a booking. So the only way they can make a judgment on the booking is by what they see and the reviews. So, make sure that you've got plenty of pictures, at least 60, 70, more if it's a bigger property. Sometimes we go to 100, and then it's like a walk-through process. So this is the bedroom. Now we're walking through. This is the living room. Now this is the bathroom. This is the kitchen. This is the gym. This is the amenities. These are the local surrounding it. This is the view. So it's like a walkthrough. The pictures should not just be haphazard. They should be put in a position like you're walking through the apartment. Okay. So number one, every portal has its secrets. So you need to learn the secrets. If you want to learn the secrets, you can get in touch with us. We'll teach you the secrets. And then pricing, photography, rule sets, right? And then they need to be constantly, you need to be managing the portals, because your listing is where all the communication is done. Your portal, Airbnb, booking.com, etc., is where all the communication is done with your guests. So it needs constant management. So once the listing has gone live, you're going to start getting inquiries. Those inquiries need to be answered very quickly and comprehensively and be sold to. They're not just going to buy straight away. They want information, and they want it fast, and they want it comprehensively. And then once they do book and they stay with you, you still have to communicate with them, because they may have a problem, and they're going to communicate with you through the Airbnb app. So you need to be making sure that you've got a team or yourself, and you're very attentive, and you're dealing with the guest issues. If it's maintenance, if it's cleaning, whatever it is, you're keeping an eye on those messages as much as you can and responding very fast. So that's also done through the portals. Okay, so that is a general overview on the portals. They're all different, and they all have their own rules and their own secrets. And as you learn to work with them, you will understand them more. At the moment, we are finding that Airbnb is the leader. It's accounting for almost 80% of the business, and Booking.com is doing almost 20%. So that's in total almost 100. But let's say that's 75 and this is 15. Then there's a balance of business coming through all of these. But as you get better at them, they will start to shoot you more business. Now, places like Bayut and Property Finder, these are really for not short-term stays, but mid-term stays. 2 weeks, 1 month, 3 months, etc. Because people are looking for places that they're already here, or they're on their way here, and they're not coming on a holiday. They're coming to work or to check out a potential job, and they don't want to get their own place until they've done their probation period and got their visa, and they feel secure that they're going to stay. So what are they going to do? They're going to book a place for a month, 2 months, 3 months, and then once they feel that they're secure, the job is secure, etc., then they may go and get a long-term property. So this, for you and Property Finder, is for mid-stays, which is still great business. It's still considered short term, and you've got less to worry about, less cleaning, less check-in, less check-out, and the bookings are confirmed for long periods of time. The rest of those, however, are for short term, and they also sometimes we get customers from these portals that stay a month, that stay 2 months. It's happened, and but this is more for these portals. And these portals, the difference between this and this is, with these kind of portals, they charge 15% of your booking. Whereas Bayut and Property Finder, they do not charge per booking. They charge you per listing. And so you can buy a package of them for 2,000-3,000 dirhams a month and list 5-10 properties. And whether you get 1 booking or 1,000 bookings, it makes no difference. The price doesn't change. So these work out more cost effective. These are more expensive, but they have different functions. You need them both.